choice than him, that I can assure you. But before I invite him, before I introduce him to make his presentation, let's quickly remind you of some of the activities of the agency this past week, which is usually featured in our news highlight segment, which will be taken now quickly by two of our AOP, Netta and Peace. Ladies, let's have what you have for us this week. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Good day to everyone, and thank you for joining us on this week's X-Space. My name is Netta Ndlea, and here are the Ndlea news highlights for the week. First, the headlines. Ndlea arrests Iran-bound woman with cocaine in private parts, stomach, bag at PH airport. Nabs 22-year-old British ex-convict with large drug shipment at MMIA. Intercept fuel tanker. 3 vehicles with 3,047 kilograms skunk in Niger. 775 liters of codeine in Kano. Desperate attempts by a woman, Ihan Siken Miracle Obehi, who disguised with hijab to export large consignments of cocaine concealed in her private parts, stomach, and false bottom of her handbag to Iran, has been swatted by operatives of the National Drug Enforcement Agency, NDLEA, at the Port Harcourt International Airport, Port Harcourt, Rivers State. Obehi, who was dressed in hijab to beat security checks, was intercepted at the departure hall of Port Harcourt Airport on Sunday, 3rd May 2025, while trying to board a Qatar airline flight to Iran via Doha, following credible intelligence. During her search, she was found to have inserted 3 wraps of cocaine in her private parts and 2 large parcels hidden in false compartments of her handbag, while she swallowed 67 pellets of the Class A drug. As a result, she was placed under excretion observation, and after 4 excretions that lasted days, she expelled the 67 wraps of the substance in her stomach. She claimed she was to swallow 70 pellets of cocaine, but after ingesting 67 pieces, she could no longer swallow the remaining 3 and decided to insert them into her private parts. The total weight of the 3 consignments hidden in different parts of her body comes to 2.523 kilograms. In like manner, NDLEA operatives at the Murtala Mohammed International Airport, MMIA, Ikeja, Lagos, on Friday, 9th May, intercepted a 22-year-old British national, Hampel Kaisra Kofi Johannes Sniper, coming from Thailand through Doha, on Qatar Airways flights with 2 suitcases loaded with 35 parcels of loud, a strong strain of cannabis weighing 37.60 kilograms. Campbell, who claimed he had twice been convicted in the UK for drug trafficking and robbery, said he was recruited in London to travel to Thailand to pick the illicit consignment and bring same to Nigeria. In Niger State, NDLEA officers acting on intelligence on Wednesday, 7th May, intercepted a fuel truck marked ABJ 693XU and 3 other vehicles loaded with 246 bags of skunk. Advancing the war against drug abuse WADA campaign. This impactful and far-reaching social advocacy initiative is to confront the issue of drug abuse decisively. The NDLEA understands that the battle against drugs must extend beyond law enforcement and penetrate the very heart of our communities. Consequently, this initiative is actively integrated into daily life, reaching schools, markets, motor parks, places of worship, ensuring that the critical messages of prevention, awareness, and rehabilitation resonate loudly and clearly. Through this proactive engagement, the NDLEA is empowering a new generation of vigilant and informed citizens. Together, they are prepared to defend their community against the scourge of drug abuse and uphold the moral fiber of the nation. On Monday, 5th May 2025, the command of the NDLEA furthered its commitment to drug demand reduction by taking a WADA advocacy lecture to students and staff of International School Dambata. The session highlighted the dangers of substance abuse, the value of informed choices, and encouraged students to take ownership of the WADA message as peer influencers within the school community. Meanwhile, the Niger State Command delivered a WADA Enlightenment WADA initiative within their school and community. That's the update for this week. My name is Peace, and I hand you over to our host, Mr. Femi Babafemi.
All right, thank you very much there. Peace and Netta. Welcome back from the news highlight segment. Now let's remind ourselves about some of the rules guiding our process of engagement on this platform today. Please note that when you are approved to be on the speaker's corner, ensure that you remain muted until after the presentation by our guest speaker, and then individuals are invited to unmute themselves and make their contribution or ask their question. That's only when we are allowed to unmute ourselves. Please let's ensure that we stick to these rules so that we all can enjoy and benefit from the conversation. We always appreciate your usual cooperation in this regard. Once again, we'd like to welcome everyone, especially those joining us via X here. And again, all our compatriots on our Facebook page, thank you for being part of the conversation, as well as those joining us via our YouTube channel. Thank you very much for also joining us on this all important conversation today. Before we get to that nitty gritty, let's quickly tell you about the agency's call center. That is uh, an initiative of the agency to bridge the gap between uh, those that are in need of support, those that are in need of treatment, and the needed help. That's what the agency has done with its call center, where we have a wide range of experts from counselors, psychotherapists, clinical psychologists, psychiatric doctors, all of them are put together in one space, in one building, to attend to all the needs of those struggling with substance abuse from wherever they are across the country. All you need to do is to pick your phone and dial our toll-free helpline, which is 0800 1020 3040. The number again to call is 0800 10203040. That's the number you need to call right from the comfort of your home, wherever you are in any part of Nigeria. All you need to do, call the number, and then you will get the needed help. We also let you know that indeed that service is language sensitive, meaning that if you cannot speak English or even Pidgin, our experts there are available to speak with you on any of the three major Nigerian languages, that is Hausa, Yoruba, Igbo. This is just to ensure that nobody has an excuse not to seek help when they are in need of treatment. And this is also to ensure that this service is available to those in the communities down deep into rural areas where quite we have some of these problems, and they actually don't know what to do or how to go about getting help. All they need to do is to call our toll-free helpline, and the needed help will be made available to them. That's that on announcement. Now let's introduce our guest speaker today. Indeed, he will be talking to us on the 2025 Hajj, the role of Ndlea, and what Nigerian pilgrims need to know about drug trafficking. It's very important, given the some of the developments in our recent operations. It's really important that those who will be going to this other jurisdiction need to know what the role of Ndlea is and how to avoid getting into the trap of drug trafficking. Now, the person that will do justice to the topic is no other person than the Director of Operations and General Investigation of the agency. We call him in short for Dogi. His name is Deputy Commander General of Narcotics, Suleiman Ahmed Ningi. Ningi in 1991 answered the call to serve his nation by joining the Ndlea as an Assistant Superintendent of Narcotics. His journey through the ranks has been that of an unwavering, committed officer spanning over 3 decades dedicated to safeguarding Nigeria from the scourge of illicit drugs. Ningi's academic foundation was laid with a first degree in history and soon after an advanced diploma in terrorism and security studies, followed by a master's degree in security and strategic studies. These qualifications prepared him for the complex dynamics of national security and the fight against drug trafficking. His career is marked an unrelenting pursuit of professional excellence. Over the years, he attended numerous strategic and operational courses both at home and abroad, from the Ndlea's Academy Basic Course in just in 1991 to advanced training in the U.S. DEA, that's DEA, the U.S. Drug Enforcement Administration in 1993. His learning journey continued through Interpol's basic and advanced courses in Accra, Ghana in 2008 and 2009, respectively. He deepened his global security insight at the Africa Center for Strategic Studies in the United States in 2012 and later at the John C. Marshall European Center for Security Studies in Germany in 2014. Further sharpening his leadership capabilities, Ningi participated in key administrative and institutional trainings, including the Institute of Public Service Seminar on Council Memoranda and the USA-sponsored Institutional Capacity Building Leadership Seminar in Accra in 2018. He also attended ASCON, that's in Topo Badagi, Lagos in 2019. These experiences enriched his capacity to lead with insight and effectiveness. Throughout his distinguished career, Abdul Sule Ningi has held several sensitive and strategic command positions. He served as Assistant Commander Operations and Intelligence in Lagos State and went on to head Ndlea's commands in Plateau, Imo, Borno, and Delta State between 2000. Currently, he serves as Director of Operations and General Investigation, overseeing the core functions of enforcement at the heart of Ndlea's national mission. Please join me in welcoming DCK Suleiman Ahmed Niggi as I invite him to unmute himself now. While we listen to him for the next 30 minutes, thereabout discuss our topic for today, that is 2025 Hajj, the role of Ndlea award Nigeria Pilgrims. Need to know about drug trafficking. Please go ahead with your presentation, Dobby. Thank you.
Thank you very much for having me. When I was that it does not happen, rather than let's go for damage control. Now, the topic specifically wants to look at drug and Hajj. In the past, we've been having problems, and most Nigerians are aware of the issues between Nigerians arrested in Saudi. And now that we have an international program going on, the Hajj, Nigerians will be waiting to see whether this Hajj will also be a successful Hajj. But our wish here in Ndlea is that we should have a successful 25 Hajj. And for our brothers who are already there and those who are in Nigeria, we say Hajj Mabruk. That's the best Hajj for you. Why drug and Hajj? Ordinarily, these are incompatibles. You can't talk about drug, especially the one that harms others, when you're going to serve God. The journey for the pilgrims is a spiritual journey. And then Hajj comes in. So the Hajj is an obligation, is one of the pillars of Islam. And so anybody who is therefore going for Hajj is expected that he will be clean in and out. So for anybody therefore to imagine or to begin to attempt to carry drug to the Holy Land has already put his spiritual journey in jeopardy. Because the intention is as critical as the action. If you are going for Hajj and you are carrying drugs to Saudi, your intention is not only to perform Hajj, but is to peddle and traffic drugs. Your Hajj may not be accepted. I am not here as an Islamic scholar to give credence to that statement, but that is the general opinion. Now, why is Ndlea involved? Ndlea is involved in this drug issue because those who will carry drugs to Saudi, if they are arrested, will cause a great embarrassment to Nigeria. And it is this embarrassment and humiliation that we are trying to avoid. Because over the years, for the few that have been arrested, Nigerians all over the world have suffered this embarrassing situation at the airport because we are seen as drug traffickers, we are seen as scammers, we are seen as criminals. And so Ndlea, in order to address this, has already put reactive measures. And let me go through them. And you see that we are serious and we will make sure that this Hajj is drug-free and it will be one big success. What did we do in the first instance? First of all, NDLA is a very active member of the Hajj Security Committee. We have a very senior officer amongst the committee. And what the committee does is that they're involved in screening. They supervise the screenings of all the places and spots where this airlift is taking on, at the airports and the Hajj camps. So our representative oversees this and then gives us the necessary information as to what is going on in every center. So as we are here in the headquarters of the NDLA, I will tell you what is going on. Secondly, with the commencement of the Hajj, we have mobilized all our sources. Sources for other Nigerians who may not know are those who are informants, who give us information. Our antenna is up everywhere you go. Any attempt, therefore, to smuggle drug will come to no fruition. We will make sure that it is thwarted and it does not succeed. We are also aware of this, and therefore, recently we have already consolidated our relationship with the Saudi Drug Agency. So we have, if you like, a very cordial and robust working relationship with the Saudi Drug Agency. You can't escape us here and escape the Saudi authority. It's almost impossible. Secondly, our officers are deployed to all the screening points for pilgrims. So we are in Hajj camp in Lagos, we are at Murtala Mohammed International Airport, we are in Makia in Kano, we are in Maiduguri, we are in Abuja, and for those of you who saw the inaugural flight in Imo, you saw our officers there. So any Nigerian who is going for Hajj will be screened by NDLEA. And I tell you, it is very difficult for anybody to escape. But if you think you can escape us, just like I said, the Saudis are there waiting for you. Now, why should somebody carry drug to Saudi? Are you aware of the consequences of drug trafficking in Saudi? In Nigeria, it is various jail terms ranging from 2 years, 5 years, 6 years, and then life imprisonment, depending on sometimes the discretion of the judge. In Saudi Arabia, the penalty is death. If you are very lucky, you get life imprisonment. That is almost in extreme cases. But in most cases, it is life imprisonment and death. Now, for those who are for the intended pilgrims, what should they watch out for? And why are they being used? From experience, from what we have gathered, over the years, almost 60 to 70% of the pilgrims are not literate. In literature support, most of them are illiterate. And they are first timers. Most of them have never traveled to the Holy Land. And so if you think you want to use the Nigerian situation in Saudi Arabia, these are two different jurisdictions with different set of laws. So if you go there, please, before you embark on this journey, first of all, ask questions. We encourage people that they must ask their neighbors, they must ask their imams, they must ask the Islamic scholars of the do's and don'ts. And because they are Nigerians who are there eagerly awaiting for those people who are vulnerable, those who are gullible, so that they recruit them to carry this drug to Saudi. And sometimes with promises, sometimes ignorantly. And I give two or three examples here. At the airport, what they do mostly is to tell you that please help us carry this bag. There is nothing in it. When we get to Saudi, I'll collect it from you. Now, the moment they give you the bag, they disappear because they know that there is something in there. If you succeed in Saudi, they will collect their bag and give you stipend and go and be happy and be smiling to the bank. If you don't succeed and you are detected here in Nigeria either by NDLA or the Saudi Drug Agency, you will go in for it. And that will be bye-bye to your Hajj, that will be bye-bye to your families, and that is one big embarrassment to the Federal Republic of Nigeria. One of the cases we handled recently in Kano was that a lady was traveling and then she had no luggage. Some other people approached her and said, since you are traveling light, help us. This is the time when we get there, we'll collect. She didn't check. She didn't know. The story is not the same because the woman has been apprehended and she is likely to face death sentence. So, what is the relevance of Hajj to Muslim? Well, we said that Hajj is one of the pillars of Islam, but we must also know, and as I said, we are not speaking here as Islamic scholars, but we're speaking as drug agents. But we must emphasize the point, and it is important that we enforce it all the times. Don't ever be deceived that somebody will promise you that go to Hajj, I will sponsor it, all you need to do is carry this luggage for me or carry this bag for me. Hajj is compulsory to only those who have the means. Meaning, if you are a Muslim, Hajj is not obligatory on you until you have the means. And the means is defined to mean so many things. One, you have enough provision that will take you to the Holy Land and bring you back. And while going, you have enough provision that will leave behind to your family members until you come back. And that you are sure that where you are going is secure. Where there are issues of insecurity, you don't go to Hajj. If you are sure that the road to Hajj is not secured, Hajj is not obligatory on you. If you don't have the means, like I said, to take care of your family and then take care of yourself there, don't go and become a liability in Hajj. Now, so I mentioned the three efforts that we have made. One, we have a member in the Hajj Security Committee. Two, we have deployed our officers to all the airports. Three, we have, with this Hajj, I said our antenna is up. We are on. We're looking for any possible information that somebody will want to attempt to traffic drug, and then we're in touch with the Saudi Drug Agency. Now, these are points that people must know. What Nigerian pilgrims need to know. It's a must. You must know this. One, drug trafficking, consciously or unconsciously, in the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia, attract death penalty. I don't know that this is your business. The moment you are arrested with drug, you go in for it. And their judicial system is this fast that it lasts for just days. And before you know it, you are in. Now, I'm aware there are so many Nigerians, especially the aged, the intending pilgrims, who will go and they are on certain medications for hypertension, for diabetes, for whatever ailments. Don't carry this drug to Saudi. These are controlled drugs. Don't take them to Saudi. Even across the counter drugs, don't take them to Saudi. But you see, in the alternative, what do? If you are a hypertensive person, if you are diabetic, and therefore you must travel, take your prescription form. And by the time you land in Saudi Arabia, please go to the nearest center. They have so many health centers. Show them your prescription form, show them that you're on this type of drugs, and believe you me, you'll be shocked. You may get this drug free, or you get it at a very cheap rate. So, prescription drug, please go with your prescription forms. Don't carry drugs, because those controlled drugs, it will take you a lot of time to explain to the Saudis why you are taking them, even if you have your medical papers. It is better you give the prescription forms so that they give you the drugs than to carry this prescription form. Don't be a trader. Don't be a trader or selling over-the-counter drugs. Over the years, Nigerians will go there and will tell you, Hajj, it's a very rigorous exercise. You have a lot of issues. There will be pains. So take this drug. It will help you. Some of these drugs are controlled drugs. And once you are arrested, the Saudis don't hear a beg. And I have to emphasize this. Don't enter into agreement with your sponsor that you'll be selling drug to him in Saudi. No matter how legitimate it may sound, or apart from the risk of being used to peddle drug by your sponsor, remember, if that is your intention, then we said you are putting your heart in jeopardy. Your attention is to worship God and not to traffic in drugs. The two don't go together. There is another issue that is Nigerians who carry kola nut. Go for those of you. Now, the Saudis do not allow anybody to carry drug to their kola nut to their country. Here, it is socially acceptable. It's not an offense to sell and to eat and chew. But in Saudi, it is an offense to carry kola nut. Don't ever carry kola nut to the Kingdom of Saudi. This 15 or 6 Don't hold drug. Don't hold back or any luggage for anybody, no matter how intimate you may think the person is to you. Sometimes these bad guys are very good in establishing a relationship with people at the airport. And before you know it, it's a matter of, please hold this bag for me. Don't dare. Don't do that. If you do that and it ends up that there's drug inside, you're in for it. Now, don't add anybody's personal effect to yours on the pretext that he already has a maximum kilogram allowed. So if you do that, it may be a trap. I understand that most of you are illiterate and they don't know the implications of carrying this, but you are warned now that don't, for whatever reason, carry anybody's luggage. Don't. Everybody should pay for his or herself. Now, declare all what you have at Ndlea counter on departure. If you think that, yes, we have this drug and I don't understand how it is, and you are not sure, the Ndlea officer at the counter will tell you that this is prescription drug. Don't take it to Saudi. Ask them. They will help you. Ask any Ndlea personnel for clarification. If you are not sure of anything, please ask. And then any suspicion, and that is what you must do. Well, the point I'm going to raise now is for all of us to be law-abiding and good citizens. Report any suspicious item, persons or movement you notice to Ndlea personnel, so that you don't suffer any collateral damage. If you do that, you know what it is. You become complicit, and therefore the law will catch up with you. So therefore, those of you who are already in Saudi, as I said, we wish you Hajj Mabrur, the best Hajj for you. Happy and successful Hajj. If you listen to some of these tips that we gave, plan without any challenge, unhindered, and nobody will disturb you. Don't therefore be a victim. Make sure you try as much as you can to be as independent as possible, and always be wise. Where you are not very sure, please ask your guide, because I'm aware that able states have their guides, Islamic scholars who guide them on what to do. Ask them for guidance. If you are ignorant, the law will show you that ignorance is your business. It's not anywhere in the law. And so I remember the other guys who have been arrested and are already languishing in jail, waiting to be killed or serving life sentence. Please don't follow them. Let's be very realistic. I must therefore at this stage refer you, and I will paraphrase at the inaugural meeting what the Vice President Shetima told all the pilgrims, and I think there is need to. He said, and I quote here, "You are more than spiritual travelers. You are ambassadors of Nigeria. You carry with you not only your faith, but also the pride and dignity of this nation. This responsibility is not light. It is noble. Therefore, please try as much as possible to obey." Thank you very much. Hajj Mabrur to all of you until we see you back when you come to Nigeria. And for those who are still in Nigeria, step 3 and journey messages to the Holy Land. Thank you.
All right, thank you very much there. BCGN Ahmed Mingi, Director of Operations and General Investigation of the agency. It's been a very precise one and some good bullet points there to remind uh, those compatriots who are traveling to the Holy Land of their obligations, what they need to know, the do's and the don'ts. And we pray and wish that indeed they would understand these things and abide by them. But then that's not all. The next hour is for your interaction when people will ask their questions and then we would be our guest speaker. It's well seated. He won't be on seat with us for the next hour where he will be responding to these issues, to the contributions and the questions coming from everyone. For those who may want to ask questions, those who may want to make contributions, please, this is the time for you to request for the mic now and then we'll approve you. But note that when we approve you, please ensure that you remain muted until we get to your turn. I will ask you to unmute yourself, make your contributions, or ask your questions. We appreciate that we stick to this basic rule of engagement. But before we get there, let's quickly acknowledge some of our compatriots on the space here. We would like to I have seen Abdul Malik Yahaya. Abdul Malik Yahaya joins us from I believe Niger State. Thank you very much, Abdul Malik. We also have a great expert also in the field of drug. That's Maria Ilubohi. Thank you very much, dear Lady Maria. Always on point. Thank you, Funsha Jimo. We have Funsha Jimo, also a regular person on the platform on this space. We also have another regular, that's Soul Whisper NG. Thank you. We have one pen, that's Ahmed Fodio. Thank you very much, Ahmed. Ahmed is the popularly called one pen. Is the coordinator or the founder of Niger State Recovery Network. I believe so. Thank you very much, one pen. We have one of our officers. A brilliant young man, Dr. West. Thank you very much, Dr. West. We have Pascal Webu, we have Shibweze Christian, we have Victoria Ochichi, we have Muhammad Mafo, we have Muhammad Abba, we have Truth Biara, we have Dr. Mba Ogele Onyekwere. Thank you very much, Dr. Mba. And we also have his friend, also Dr. James Komalafe. Thank you very much, gentlemen. They are always regular here, always ready to support and make valuable contributions. We also have Prince Isaac. Thank you. Abdul Salam Yunusa. Thank you. We have Dr. Benga Warrior. Dr. Benga Warrior was once our guest on the guest speaker on this platform. Thank you, Dr. Benga. We also have Bodmas Yusuf. Thank you. We have Dudu by Nation. Thank you. Ibrahim Kuru joins us from the Northeast. Thank you very much, Ibrahim. We have another senior officer of the agency, that Hassan Idris Ataba. Thank you very much, Commander there. We have Winnie Ward. We have Ahmed Ali Musa. We have to pause now so that we can begin the engagement. To all our compatriots joining via Facebook and YouTube, we appreciate you. Indeed, it's always a pleasure having you join us via that medium. Definitely. Okay, let's quickly recognize or visit those who are in our DM. Let's get some of their questions for our guest speaker today. Like I said before, for those who may want to contribute on this platform, those that have been asking for the mic, and it appears that we are not approving. No, we are approving. I think it's just your network there. But I've seen Ahmed, Asma, Ahmed do that. And I've also seen, I think I've seen about 3 people ask for the mic. I think it's a bit of their network problem. So let's, okay, let's have another. Okay, so that's, Okay, now people are asking for the mic now. Let's hope that their network will allow permit it. Okay, we have Dr. James Komalape pending and Ibrahim Kuru also approved. Okay, let's attend to those on the platform here first before we go to our DM. I have quite a lot of questions for our guest speaker. First, let's take the first contribution from one of our ever ready and ever always valuable, Dr. James Komalafe. Dr. James Komalafe, please go ahead with your contribution.
Hello.
Yes, I can hear you, Doctor. Very well.
Good afternoon, everyone. Good to be here today. Director Ningi, what a joy to know that these things are available and well stressed out for everybody to know and understand that the essence of pilgrimage is a spiritual devotion and worship. However, there are cases of just where people just feel, well, let's use this opportunity to also see what we can do. Generally, we classify violation when it comes to pilgrimage into three categories, behaviorally speaking. The first one is the case of ignore, where we did do, this is Nigeria, I can always find my way through and all of that. I'm happy you stress that. At the other side, it is death penalty. But so, Director, I want to tell you there are still people who ignore and want to dare it on their own. So the case of ignore is one. Two, the case of ignorance, which is never an excuse, is another one. It's a behavioral variable we also need to capture. Oh, I don't know. In law, ignorance is not an excuse. And then the third group of behavioral violation in pilgrimage is the ignominy. Well, I'm already tired, fed up. Let me risk it. I know it can lead to disgrace or whatever, shame. I can escape it and all of that. People could be so fed up that they just want to risk anything. Yes, there are rules and grounds and various other incentives to help people do the needful. The question I want to ask is this: has there been a professional instrument by which we could leverage Hajj to purge, profile, and project people through proper Hajj by doing what I call behavioral profiling, so that everybody comes clear what it is, and then we can help the weak, the vulnerable, people who out of exuberance and just for the fun, for the joy, I'm going for sightseeing and all that. So I want to ask, sir, is there any document of such on ground that could provide such help, sir? Thank you very much. Put it, sir.
All right, thank you, James. There, let's. I believe Dogi had your question, and let's invite him to respond to the question from Dr. Komalafe. Please go ahead, Dogi.
Yeah, thank you very much, Doctor. Thank you for raising these very serious behavioral issues. Ignorance, ignominy. You know, the issue of you're aware of the economy, and you're aware of the level of desperation that people can go to. They can go to any length. They can go to any length. This death penalty is not something that is just starting today. It has been with us for decades, but it has not served enough deterrent to these desperados. But these guys are desperate because, one, most of them are ignorant, they are very unskilled, they have nothing, if you like. These are people who have come of age and people with the families, they have no skill whatsoever. Survival is very difficult. And if you want an adult, therefore, to survive, when he has no skill to offer, and our system recognizes that you must have a certain certificate or skill to put in for sale, then it becomes very, very difficult. Why do they dare this? Why do they do this and down the consequences? The saying is, he who is down fears no fall applies here. But what are we doing in Ndlea? You know, the WADA initiative created by General Marwa when he assumed office here. Our airport has always been talk to people, reach out to them, give them all the information they need to know about drugs so that they make informed decisions to serve themselves, to serve their families. It is not the responsibility of Ndlea to provide jobs. It is not the responsibility of Ndlea to address squarely the issue of poverty. Beyond what we do to say poverty, we have noticed is one of the greatest problems causing drug issue in Nigeria. Because they have no job, and where the job exists, they have no skill to offer. And these guys are in the majority. And so what do we do? Ours is therefore to appeal to relevant government agencies to pick up from where we stop. But as to us to provide this, we give you the information and we'll tell you the dangers involved. It is for you therefore, to avoid this and then make sure you don't get entangled. And then on the other side, we reach out to relevant government authorities and tell them this level of poverty is high and people are getting into drugs because of family issue. And this family issue will sometimes be related to the level of poverty in the homes. And so we reach out to those relevant government ministries and other agencies and tell them also to carry on. So it is for everybody to say, look, let's do a little bit. The rich men, the companies in their corporate social responsibilities reach out. But I tell you, and you know very well, that the level of poverty in the land is high. And like Aristotle said, when somebody is hungry, he doesn't listen to any advice. A hungry man, according to Aristotle, is like an empty sack. No matter how hard you try, it is difficult for him to stand erect. That, I hope, answers your question, Doctor. Thank you very much.
All right, thank you very much. Dogi, what my colleague is trying to say there is indeed there is no ignorance in law, and then people get desperate for a lot of reasons, which one of which is the issue of poverty, and another issue is a desperate bid to get out of their socio-economic issues. Definitely, what he's trying to emphasize there is that poverty is a predisposing factor. And so, even though the agency is leading or coordinating the efforts against in the battle against substance abuse and illicit drug trafficking in the country, we can only work with other stakeholders, both at all levels of government, at the federal, state, local government, and including those in the private sector, to address some of these issues. And we're glad that indeed quite a lot of effort is going on in this direction, especially the one we know at the federal level, where we have the renewed hope agenda of the federal government, of the president of the country, of the administration, to I think a lot of people who are affected by this socioeconomic factor to take them out of poverty and empower them. And we're absolutely pushing on and working along that direction. And we do hope that our people will listen and follow wise counsel. Thank you very much once again. This is Sule Ahmed Ningi, our Director of Operations and General Investigation for that. Let's take the next contribution now from, let's take Ibrahim Kuru. Ibrahim Kuru, please come on. Go ahead with
Yes, good afternoon, everybody. Can you hear me?
You are very well and clear.
Yes, okay. Thank you very much for this topic. Thank you to Director Ningi for bringing light to such sinful acts being done in the name of pilgrimage. I want to use this opportunity to try and urge them to remind pilgrims to check their luggages properly. You know, sometimes by mistake, some of these controlled substances or prescription drugs might be forgotten in your pocket, or maybe you have children at home that dropped it by mistake. And I know these people over there, they won't listen to this your pleas. Because personally, I've had the experience of passing through 3 high-risk airports with cannabis, which I did not know. So during my days that I used in 2007, I left Nigeria to Dubai, which I spent 3 days for my brother's graduation. From then, we went for Umrah in Saudi Arabia. Then from then, I was going back to school in Malaysia, so I had to pass through Singapore, then Malaysia. So imagine if I got caught in any of those airports. The thing is, I didn't even know I had that cannabis in my jeans because it was something I used during the holiday and traveled all the way back to school. So it was 2 months later while in Malaysia that I discovered I had cannabis all the way from Nigeria to Malaysia. So that's my contribution for today. Thank you very much.
All right, thank you very much there, Ibrahim Kuru. Dogi, would you want to say something to that, or we should allow it pass?
Yes, I think in addition to what he said, and I like his distance, what I think I must emphasize is that if you know you are traveling, especially to countries like Saudi Arabia, Malaysia, Singapore, please do make sure that you check your bag yourself. Don't allow your family members to check in for you, because once the problem starts there, your family members will not be there to speak for you. It is important that if you're traveling, make sure you check your bags, check whatever it is, and then before you leave the house. Most time it is, you remember one of the arrests recently made, the guy packed his bag, and then when he was to travel to UK, he forgot that this bag he has used this when he was traveling to Zambia. And at the airport, you know, they saw an ammunition there. It's not a very it's a very difficult story to defend. So check your bag while you are traveling. Check and make sure if it is your wife or your son, please be there while they are putting and arranging your load. Or if they check in, do recheck to be double sure. Saudi with drug, my brother. It's tough. Thank you very much.
All right, thank you very much there. We'll take the next contribution from one of our officers on the field out there. Asma Ahmad, please go ahead.
Thank you very much, Mr. Femi Babafemi. Good evening, Mr. and Alexi. My name is sir. Good evening, Mr. Femi Babafemi. Sir, one question and to my question, sir. Ndlea as an agency has a crucial role in sensitizing the public about drug trafficking. While the agency focuses on enforcement, that is supply reduction, I would like to know about the agency's effort in drug demand reduction, particularly in sensitizing pilgrims. What collaboration has the agency had with relevant agencies like the Hajj Commission to educate pilgrims on drug trafficking risks? How far has the agency gone in sensitizing them beyond just intelligence gathering and enforcement? Thank you, sir. And that's the only person I have, Mr. Femi. Thank you.
Similar question. Over to you, Doggy.
Yes, the NDLEA has engaged so many radio stations in northern Nigeria and then in a few southern states. Now, the idea is in their local language, we have spoken to them about the danger since the last 2, 3 months. We have been talking and talking about the dangers of hard drugs. And I mentioned in my little presentation that we have an active member in the Hajj Security Committee. And the Hajj Committee, move around the zones. And in every zone, they give talk, and the NDA man there emphasizes always that, look, this is the danger of drug trafficking. This is what arrests you in Saudi Arabia should you be arrested. The radio stations, I'm aware of so many FM stations that we have engaged to tell people, especially within this period, please be careful at the airport. Please be careful of carrying anybody's luggage. Please be careful of using any drug, whether the drug is hard drug or is prescription drug. Be careful. And in Saudi Arabia, it is better for you to bring your prescription form so that you get drug than to be arrested with the drug. We have done that extensively. Thank you very much.
All right, thank you very much, Doggy. I believe that satisfies Asma. I see you clapping for him. Thank you very much there. All right, let's take the next contribution from Abdul Malik. Abdul Malik, please go ahead.
Good day to you, everyone. Thank you very much, Mr. Femi. Just to correct one assertion, I am been joining from Abuja. And I would like to start by lauding the efforts of the agency. I went for my pilgrimage 2015, so I believe I'm going to be speaking from experience. My own journey was with pure intention. So I left Nigeria with the intention of, an avenue to quit drugs. And once I got there, I came to learn about all this, the issue of kola nut, which is grow, how it's been prohibited, and how the death penalty is over there. So I believe I was able to, with my intention, be safe there. But the addiction now kicked in while I was there, and because I could understand Arabic to an extent, I was able to go to a pharmacy and somehow I was prescribed sulfadine, which had some codeine content in it, and I used that, for a while before before it finished. So one thing I would like to add is that, of course, if one knows how to navigate his way when he or she is there, finding substances is not that hard, but the intention now should come into play, because we are there. One goes there for a spiritual journey, not a journey of going to lavish life. And like it has been stressed here, the death penalty is real. I mean, while I was at the airport, I saw someone caught with kola nuts, and that was how I got to know about the death penalty, because everyone was as certain as ABC that, okay, this person is definitely going to face the chop chop. That's what they call it, the chop chop square. That's where they carry out the executions. So please and please do away with drugs and make sure that when you go for a pilgrimage, you go there with a clear intention that you are there for a purpose and you would like to fulfill that purpose. I believe I will take my leave here and say thank you very much.
All right, thank you very much, Abdul Malik. Yeah, it's interesting to know that you are right with us in Abuja here. Okay, Dogi, would you say something to that, or it should pass?
He knows, but if you are arrested with kola nut, for instance, in Saudi, nobody will chop your head. But the truth of the matter is that it will be very difficult for you to wriggle out. So the emphasis is, please don't just go there. I know the level of addiction. Some of our people are addicted to cola. And when you raise it here as an issue, they will think that we have been doing this. And so why is Ndlea coming to cola? Because of the nicotine content, it makes you, if you take it for a certain period of time, it becomes a problem of you get addicted. So that addiction with cola, please, for this period of Hajj, fight it. Fight that addiction here. You understand? And then avoid cola. They may not chop your head, but you'll be embarrassed. Thank you.
All right, thank you very much there. I can see Dr. Mba Oyekwere is struggling to speak, but I think his network, that's why we are indeed approved his request, but unfortunately, it's taking long for him to connect. So just know, Dr. Mba, that it's not from our end. We have approved your request, but I think your network, you may have to adjust a little. That's it. Let's take this question from DM. It's written by somebody on the space, and that is Ajaxim. Ajaxim is asking our guests, sir, I sincerely appreciate this agency for their efforts to make country free from illicit drugs which fuel the crisis in the country. However, our appeal to extend your fighting against illicit drugs to Mecca and Jerusalem whenever there is time for. Whose mic is on? I think the host, please mute your mic. I'm trying to read that. Okay, I believe that's his comment, but there was a question from him, and okay, that's okay, the same Ajaxim. Kudos to the speaker in the house. Mahmoud, can you host that mic? Can you mute it? Okay, I was trying to read the question from Ajaxim. Okay, kudos to the speaker in the house. Why your agency doesn't. All right, let me just, I wouldn't want to read the way he typed it. He must have typed in a hurry. Why is your agency not represented at the Holy Land of Mecca? Because your sister agencies like Nigerian Immigration Service and others are represented there every year. Okay, that's the question of Ajaxim. Okay, let's have Dogi now respond to that. Why is Ndlea not represented in Mecca like immigration and others? Thank you.
Okay, the truth of the matter is that we have representatives. Maybe you may not see them. We have maybe the number two is an issue. You have so many of them. The idea of Ndlea being in foreign land or in some other countries is an idea that has been pushed forward by the chairman chief executive, and I think it's waiting federal government's approval. We would love to be in all the drug producing countries in the world, so that nobody brings in drug from there without prying eyes. But as it is now, we are not there. But the process is on to be there. Thank you very much.
All right, thank you very much there. Let's take some more questions from our DM now. Well, if I see anyone that have been answered, I may have to skip such. Are there any specific awareness programs or seminars conducted by Ndlea in collaboration with state programs or whatever? Yeah, definitely that have been answered. How are illiterate or elderly pilgrims being sensitized considering language and comprehension barriers? Okay, this one is from Dida. Okay, let me read this loudly, Dogi, so that you can respond to that. How are illiterate, but I also know that you mentioned something like this. How are illiterate and elderly pilgrims being sensitized considering language and comprehension barriers. Please go ahead, Doge.
You see, I made mention of the fact that we've used a lot of the local radios, and we have to, just in an effort to sensitize pilgrims going to Mecca. Those elderly people who are going and those who are illiterate, we speak everybody's language. After all, the, in Ndlea, they are all Nigerians. So there is no group, there is no ethnic group that are not represented here. So we speak to them in the language and the dialect they will understand. For the elderly, the rules of Mecca is that the elderly, those who are truly elderly, will need the support to go there. And so those who are with them have been sensitized. And if they are sensitized, it is possible, therefore, that they will guide those elderly who are engaged in Hajj with them. But we've been talking to people in local languages, and we put even more emphasis in almost all the radio stations where we have signed this thing with. Speak to people in local languages, in the language they will understand better. Thank you.
All right, thank you very much there. Let's take the next one from Obi. Obi is asking, how can a pilgrim report suspicious activity during the Hajj journey? Please go ahead, Doge.
Yeah, we have a security committee, and this security committee, you have Ndlea, you have police, you have DSS, you have NSA, and then you have almost the Hajj official. If you are reporting a matter, you don't need to find the Saudi police. You always find a Nigerian official. Report to him. If you report to the matter to any of the Nigerian officials, then they will hand over the matter to the police in Saudi. Report first to Nigerian official. He needs not to be the SSS, the Ndlea, and the security committee. Any Hajj official, report the matter to him if you see. You have done your bit. Thank you.
All right, thank you very much there. Let's try to approve. Okay. Let's read some more. Okay, this one is from Ndlea. How does the Ndlea handle cases where a traveler is arrested for carrying drugs that were secretly planted in their luggage without their knowledge? Doggy, please go ahead if you got the question.
The idea is that we are talking about strict liability offense. You have your luggage, and the luggage is yours, and it is arrested, and the drug was found inside the luggage. You have to explain to the Saudi official how did that drug get to your bag. It is not a situation that let me go and call my family members so they'll come and defend me in Saudi. No.
No, he's asking about the Ndlea now, not about the Saudi. How does the Ndlea handle such cases? That's what he's asking.
Yeah, so the idea, in the past, we've handled cases where somebody, unknown to him, unknowingly, somebody planted the drug in his bag, and it was when he was in Saudi that he collected the bag and just discovered that, yes, the Saudi official discovered drug. Of course, there are some diplomatic issues, and then we are able to we arrest the who planted the drug. And we gave evidence to Saudis. This is exactly what happened. The man was ignorant of the drug found in his bag. We were able to prove to the Saudis. And believe me, the other woman that was a classical case in Nigeria when she was released back home. It was based on the effort of Ndlea, who did a wonderful job here by arresting those who planted the drug in her bag, and they confessed, and we charged them to court here and submitted our report to the Saudi authority, and that woman was exonerated. She was already penciled down for prosecution and eventually death penalty, but she was saved and came back. It was a case that was well celebrated here in Nigeria. So, but you know, she was lucky. I'm not sure that everybody will be that lucky. Because for you to begin to explain before the paperwork are done, sometimes it will be late. The Saudis, the best thing to do with the Saudis is when they say, don't bring drugs to our land, please don't bring drugs to our land. But where there are cases on unknowingly drug was found in your bag and you have reason to prove, NDLA will always want to stand by you until we exhaust all evidence and assure that you're a free man or you are guilty. And then the rest is not your business. The NDLA and the Saudi authority will always relate. We have that audio working relationship. Thank you.
All right, thank you very much there. Let's take driving cases where it's trying to aid traffickers. Okay, this one is from this person is asking, have there been cases where insiders tried to aid traffickers during Hajj travel? Because we have cited some instances of of cases where people were arrested here trying to smuggle drugs to Saudi or even were arrested in Saudi. Have there been cases where insiders tried to aid traffickers during the Hajj travel? But the insiders here was not properly defined. But then, Ndlea, I'm sure you can handle that. Please go ahead.
Of course, when you're talking about insiders, especially people working at the airport, you have those guys working at the airport are also Nigerians. Among them are decent human beings, and then of course there are those that are not so good. And so there is no way that the drug barons will not look for those who are vulnerable to be exploited. They don't need to look at, they look at the relevant agencies that are working there and find any officer that can be compromised. They will attempt. So it is possible because the workers there are not angels. They're also some bad guys. But the truth of the matter is this. In the past, we have seen insiders and they have been dealt with decisively. Thank you.
All right, thank you very much. Let's take the next one. Quite a lot of questions. What does the ongoing screening process at the airport look like during Hajj season? Okay, that is one. This other one should the NDLA prioritize. Okay, this person is asking, should the NDLA prioritize positive measures or rehabilitation for pilgrims caught with small quantities of drugs? Small quantities of drugs. Okay, Dobby, please go ahead.
Aside from the last question, small quantity of drug, big quantity of drug is drug. Now, so if you are arrested here, and then we prove that you are a user in a Nigerian context, in Nigerian situation, if you are arrested and we discover that you are a user, you know the treatment is different. If you are a user, we think you are a victim, you need help. It's a mental health issue. So you need help, and that the people who can do without drug need help, and so you'll be referred here for rehabilitation. The language in Saudi is that drug is drug. Quantity is inconsequential. That's the point. And then for screening at the airport, if you are aware of Hajj camp, while during screening, everybody's bag is checked, and then we have those scanners, we have handheld scanners that they carry over your luggage, and if they get any sign that there's drug, then you go for 100% search. Where the suspicion is on the person himself, we take him down for X-ray to make sure that he does not swallow drug, or if the drug is right into his tummy and it's discovered, he will not spend a Hajj. He would rather go to where he rightly belongs, behind bars. Thank you.
All right, thank you very much for the great insights you are providing. And more questions are pouring in. Is the NDLA's surveillance and screening process effective in preventing drug trafficking among pilgrims? That's the next question. Please go ahead, Dobby. Yeah, Dobby, did you get me? The question is the NDLA surveillance and screening process effective in preventing drug trafficking among pilgrims? That's the question from this person. Please go ahead.
I made mention in my presentation. I said the moment the National Hajj Commission said this is the takeoff, this developmental decisions will be this month and that there will be pilgrims. What we did was we put all our informants to speak the language of everybody because I said forces. And so we put all our informants. And I said everybody's antenna now must have to work now. Begin to pick signals and then let's see whether we will see anybody that will attempt. We succeeded to a large extent in reaching out to all our informants and then put them on notice. If you hear anything about drug being peddled to Saudi, please let us know. The surveillance is on and it will not be over until they are back from Saudi. For the screening, you know, it's more of manual screening, especially at Hajj camp where they don't have facility. So we make sure that everybody's bag is searched, the person is assessed and properly profiled. Where we suspect that the man is carrying or ingesting this drug, he goes for further screening, and that will mean that we have to take his X-ray, and that's the situation that is going on right now in all the camps. Thank you.
All right, thank you very much, dear Doggy. Let's take this one. Okay, this person is asking, should Nigerian pilgrims be subjected to more stringent security checks than other travelers due to the risk of drug trafficking and the consequences in the Holy Land? I'd like to know your opinion on this. Thank you. All right, that's the next question. Please go ahead, Doggy.
Didn't hear the question. Repeat the question,
Did
please.
you hear the question? Okay. Now the question is: should Nigerian pilgrims be subjected to more stringent security checks than other travelers due to the risk of drug trafficking and the consequences in the Holy Land?
I believe so. One, some other countries, I'm not saying that some other countries are liberal. It depends on every jurisdictions and what they think. But if you know that the final judgment and that the conclusion of this is that the man will pay death penalty, I think you have to put all efforts to make sure that if the man does not want to serve himself, we have to serve him. I think we need more stringent, and we can see that the improvement by each year. I'm not sure in the last 3-4 years you've had anybody been arrested, a pilgrim arrested in Holy Land. So we put in more stringent measures. Apart from the fact that the eye of the world is now in Saudi, everybody is waiting to see what will happen. And so people are waiting for good news, and then there are people who are looking for negative and bad news. Now, the idea is that you can make or match this by just one single or two arrests of Nigerians carrying drugs to Saudi. The whole structure of this thing is mad. And the international politics will not be against us. Aha, drug traffickers, see what they are doing. And that is why we are insisting that this thing here at home, all the measures we put in place is to make sure that nobody is arrested there. And if he's arrested there, he faces the music. Thank you.
All right, he faces the music. It's not a threat, it's a warning, sort of, just to give you a heads up. Okay, let's take this one from Damola. Damola is okay. How is the NDLA collaborating with the National Hajj Commission of Nigeria, NACON, and other stakeholders to ensure a drug-free pilgrimage? I know you have gone through this, but you may have to recap this partnership for the benefit of this person asking the question. Please go ahead.
Yeah, I think we have an excellent working relationship with the Hajj Commission. I mentioned that our staff is a member of the security committee, and then all the Hajj centers where they are screening pilgrims, you discover that we have deployed NDLA officers there to do the screening. They are there in all the centers. And this is with the active collaboration and support of the Hajj Commission. So if you like, we have an excellent working relationship with them. Thank you.
All right, thank you very much. Closely related to that is another question asking about uh, working relationship and collaboration with state pilgrim welfare boards. How do we work with? Okay, no. Okay, how is Ndlea working with the boards, the state pilgrim welfare board at the state level, apart from the NACO at the national? Please go ahead.
At the state level, we have commands. We have our commands in all the 36 states. And so what happens is that once the pilgrims are there before they take off their screen, and unknown to some of them, some of those that you think may be actually pilgrims are also our agents. They dress and then be in the group. You never know because their job is to monitor and make sure that nothing happens or pick any conversation that will lead to drug arrests and seizures. So we're involved in all the states. We planted in officers who come out and then sometimes movement. Report to those people that are doing training. Tell them this is what is going on, this is what I heard, or this is what I saw. Report to them. They will take action. In Saudi, report to the official you see. Head official, please report to him. Thank you.
There. Let's count through. Let's count through some this other. Okay, I'm approved some this other. Okay, I'm approved some whisper. Let's hear from some whisper. Is it a question or contribution? Some whisper. Is it a question or contribution? Some whisper. Pink guy. Pink guy. Yes, always. Yes, always. With your contribution or question, okay, if she's not ready, let me take what should approve approach. Okay, this one, this person, what should should a pilgrim do if approached by someone asking them to carry a? Okay, please.
Yeah, repeat your question, please. The tail end of the question I did not hear.
He's asking what should a pilgrim do if approached someone asking them to help carry a parcel? What should be the reaction or what should the person do?
The best way to help the situation is to make sure that the other guy is arrested. And the best way to do it is to report this to Ndlea, what is going on, and you see how professionally you handle the matter in such a way that the other guy will be arrested and then nobody will know the source of information. Thank you.
Thank you very notes from their doctor. They will not notes from their doctor. They will not be allowed to take this in, even with their since they can still on board their flight.
As far as prescription drugs are concerned, in the the thing is about trust. We trust the system and take so many things, you're aware. So if you want to be on the safe side, take the drugs that we just use in your flight. By time and I know that in most cases, some of these drugs are given free. I don't know whether the system has changed, but the drug, once you have prescription, so it is better. What the Saudis want is that if you have prescription, let us rather give you those drugs than you bring it into our country. That's the situation. Thank you.
All right, thank you very much. That's the situation. This one is from Usma. Okay, Usma is okay. It's saying, what security advice will you give to pilgrims to protect themselves from unruly? Okay, I think that has been answered. It's in the same thing. Okay, another question from Usma is, What are the common tactics used by drug traffickers during Hajj or Umrah season? This is important for most people to understand, avoid them. Thank you. All right, thank you very much. Go ahead, Bobby.
I think that this is a very intelligent question. You said they're looking for people who are also greedy. Yeah, now they tell you that, look, you have a small bag, I have this by it. So, it is not all those who need help that are criminals. So, it is not all those who need help that are criminals. And say, please help me with this bag. When we get to Nigeria, I'll get it from you because I have the weight here, I have excess luggage. Don't business together. I have seen that you look like a decent man. You agree to do a business with somebody you have never met, that would be very dangerous. So avoid those people who give you business proposals in the holy land and tell you take this both ways. Because the nature and character of our problem is that you can bring drug to Nigeria, you can take it from Nigeria. So no, you're only safe if you avoid them. Thank you very much.
Let's take this one from and can you say that the NDLA's efforts to combat drug trafficking among pilgrims be considered a success? Let me read it again. Can the NDLA's efforts to combat drug trafficking among pilgrims be considered a success, or are there still challenges? Please.
But if you don't arrest, you believe that all is well. But it does not mean that some other drugs have beaten us. We are not perfect. There is no perfect system anywhere. And there is no system that these bad guys cannot beat. But
could be improved or made better. Is it pilgrimage related operations to combat drug trafficking? What are some other? You are muted. Please mute yourself. You are
okay.
muted.
Yes, okay. There is no system we can use to make sure that every luggage, so if you like both ways, adequate funding.
All right. Okay. So much effort is being put into screening of bottled drugs in Saudi that can be brought into Nigeria. What happens? Are there also same screening at the other end, or is it when they get here we prepare for any of those coming back from Hajj? I just want to understand how this works. Move yourself.
Yes, okay. Every passenger now, when he gets to Saudi, that's a Saudi one of the to be. You can see those there. Avoid them. Avoid drug problem in Nigeria. You see that people bring in problem in Nigeria. You see that people bring in all sorts of drugs. These are not used here. Some new psychoactive substance. Nobody knows. Nobody can beat his chest anywhere in the world and say, I know all the drugs that are involved. Because as I'm talking to you, literally nobody will bring any drug. Because in recent time, we have made arrests in Lagos of somebody bringing cannabis from United States to Nigeria. Somebody bringing cannabis from United States to Nigeria. You know how absurd. So
please let's have your final take on this conversation, on this topic, before we'll get our guest speaker to give his closing remarks. If Dr. Komolafe is around there. Dr. James, are you there? Okay, Dr. James is not by his. Let's have our guest speaker on this conversation today. Please go ahead, Dogi.
For the pilgrims, we wish them happy pilgrimage, a reward full pilgrimage. For those of them who are already there, please be careful with the rules